Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Today is October 9th, 2016. I'm going to be going over this week's trade ideas. First one on the list is J&J. This chart seems like it's kind of forming a base here with an inverted head and shoulder down at the bottom. Even though the 50 EMA keeps rejecting it, the chart now sits over its 13 and 8 EMA. I feel like the more time that it keeps testing this 50 EMA, it's more than likely that it wants to break to the upside. So what I'd like to do on this one is I'd like to wait for a little pullback somewhere closer right into the 118.90 area. Take it for a long. Obviously this risk here would be what you would put on to the trade at any one point on the chart, and make sure that it remains above this small uptrend that it's sitting here. I'd like to see it reclaim the 50 EMA and continue up to about 120 or 121 on this chart. TGT is the next one on the list. A very similar chart pattern here with a inverted head and shoulder type pattern. Some volume coming in here at the bottom. It did close over its 13 EMA. It is also breaking its immediate downtrend over here, so I'm looking on this one for a long. I'm thinking if we can get a pullback somewhere to about 68 70s or so, you can take it on the long side, see if we can bring it up to 70. If it was to break over the 70, chart does have range to test this downtrend over here, and that should put you somewhere closer to about 71. Next on the list is AMX. Strong candle here, decent volume coming in. Chart is testing its 50 EMA here in the next session. There's obviously a downtrend here that it just came across. So with this close of the downtrend, I'd like to see a pullback somewhere closer down to about $11.50 and take this one long. I think we could end up probably seeing this closer to about 12.5. CTL is the next one on the list. Obviously strong volume into Friday's session. Chart pushed over its 50 EMA and pulled right back down into it. But being that the chart is kind of breaking through an area of resistance over here, and it is a nice double bottom down here, I'd like to see this one for a long. So I'd like to play this CTL on the long side, pull back to about 27.50 where I take it long, add over the 50 EMA as long as the candle can close over there. And I think the chart does want to come back and retest all the way up here somewhere closer to about the $30 range. Next on the list is GMED. Nice bullish engulfing at an area of support. This chart is holding up here at the bottom, making higher lows as it goes up. It also is coming up to test its 50 EMA, so the more that this wedge tightens up, the more I like it for a long and a possible breakout, especially with the bullish engulfing over here. So I'd play this one on a small pullback here, somewhere closer to about $22.80. You put a stop right under this trend line over here, and you try to add over its 50 EMA. If the chart can close over here, you do have a possibility of coming back right into this range over here for about 23 or 24. Mgln is the next one on the list. Obviously this chart is breaking its immediate downtrend over here also, so I'd like to play this one on the long side. As long as I get a pullback somewhere to about 54 on this one, I can take it long, try to see if we get it up to 57, 56, where that's where the 50 EMA is going to sit. And if the chart can close over here, it actually does have a nice range to make a really big move, possibly to about 61 or 62. BOBE, next one on the list. Chart did break the downtrend here to the upside, still sitting under its 50 EMA. I'd like a close over the 50 EMA to take it long, and then I think we have a chance with the room to make it up to the $40 range on this BOBE. Next on the list is BLL. Okay, so this chart seems to be holding at this area for now. It's tested this 50 EMA once and had a nice little bounce off of it. and obviously it's testing the 50 EMA again. So if the 50 EMA can hold, I'd like to be long on it. If the 50 EMA was to break, I think it's definitely going to come back down to about the 74 range. But for now, I think we can play the bounce off the 50 as that for any uptrend what it's trying to actually put in. So the chart needs to hold above this range that it closed at on Friday's session. So you can play a double bottom off of Friday's session for a long shot. See if you can get it to come back through 79, possibly into the 81 range if it was to hold a 50 EMA. If the candle breaks under the 50 EMA or breaks the low from Friday's close, then obviously it's not really gonna stay up. WFM. Okay, so the chart made a nice little pushback, a nice 50% retracement. I like this one for the long as it can stay above the 13 EMA here. So I'd like it $28.60, which puts me just a little bit lower than where it's at for a long shot. Add over the 50 EMA and try to bring this chart up back into some of this gap over here. It does have a gap to fill all the way up to about $30.50. And the last one on the list is ACN. So this chart, after its explosive move over here, after the earnings and the big move, came back, retraced about 50% of the move. If it was to pull back to its 50 EMA here at 115, I'd be long on this chart here just based on the retracement areas and the fact that you can find support down into this zone. So ACN is definitely one that I'll be looking at for a long play as long as the 50 EMA here can hold for support. If we can get that 115 area to hold, I think 120, 121 isn't unlikely. So those are the 10 for the week. For those of you guys that don't follow me, it's at Iceman Trading, and there you'll find links to a bunch of the things that I do. Also, the trading room that I currently own at Iceman Trading Academy. Thank you guys very much.